Period.
Well, real upstanding men, and the men on the panel can correct me. We won't come for it. Like a real man won't come for your shit. That's not what we do. That's not how we move. Like once it's over, we like, all right, it's time to rebuild. It's time to do do what we got to do. So most of the time, from my experience, it's the woman coming for what we got, and in most cases, we actually don't have the energy to fight it. So we'll go through the motions for let's call it a couple months. But if that shit's not resolved, we want it resolved as soon as we can get it over so we can get moving. Period. That's just how we do. Let's keep it a buck.
And
Or
you
I
know
mean,
it's so
because I
funny.
know, like when I was dealing with what I was dealing with, it wasn't even about the money for me. I wasn't even worried about that. It hurt me. Did it set me financially back? Yes. I was more worried about my opportunity to have joint custody for my son. That hurt me more because I'm going from seeing my child 100% of the time to now 50. And at the time when we was talking and negotiating, it was less than that. I was going back down to 35. Every other weekend, 1-2 days during the week. I wasn't going for that.
I could not
I
imagine.
wasn't going for that. So I fought more about that than I even did about the money. I just said, F this money. I'm going to have joint custody. I don't want this other bullshit. I had to make sure we split that everything out. That means down to holidays. It didn't matter about who's going to claim on taxes. Every other year, I get to claim on taxes. Everything I had to negotiate. But it's making sure I kept joint custody of my son.
Gotcha.
I also want to say, I know we talk about all the negatives about fearing it, but marriage it can be a beautiful thing too. Like,
I agree.
Like my wife just bought me a double Gouda burger in with the home fries. You know what I'm saying? When the kids go to sleep, she'll be serving it in lingerie. I don't got to worry about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of the stuff I might have got into going outside, man, it's more incentive to stay at home. I don't got to spend money doing a lot of different things that I might have. It's benefits to just having somebody there that you can be quiet with, or you can talk to, that you're comfortable with, that you can have sex and don't got to worry about having a baby by somebody and she puts you on actual child support and not being able to raise your kids. I think a lot of the men on the panel would agree with me on this, but men that want to be fathers really, really, really want to be fathers. Like we had cut our arms and legs off to make sure we in our kids' lives. Like the brother just said, he lost half everything, but I ain't care about that. I just wanted my kids. And I wouldn't want nobody in that situation where you don't have access to your kids. Marriage is one way to provide 100% access to your children.
Absolutely. So let me. Now we're talking about. Oh, for anybody else who didn't get an opportunity to speak, wanted to say anything? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say a couple things real quick. That was beautiful, Marcus. Like I wish there'd be more panels of married people that can just share the small things, because truly, I think that's one of like the best things about having such a strong. I mean, I'm technically engaged, but a strong relationship in your marriage, and I wholeheartedly believe in marriage. But I am also surrounded by so many good dads, and I can tell Hink is a great one. And I wanted to share something like interesting that I asked my dad, I'm like, did you pay child support? Blue collar family, by the way. Both him and my mom were probably not making much at all. But instead of paying her child support, he sent us to private schools, which was interesting because it like benefited us. And I mean, they both were making the same, so I don't think it like hurt her or anything like that. And then something that I saw in the chat, which was interesting, was Jonathan said that he knows a woman who is receiving alimony and doesn't want to get remarried because then she'll stop receiving that alimony. I also know someone like that too, who is receiving that and will not marry their partner. So just wanted to share that. That's it.
So is that another example of paying to get to leave?
Well, yes, because if you're in a situation where you're with, so if you're in a situation and you're with a breadwinner,
so
if you're the guy who's making that money, I think that you should proceed with caution. Absolutely. I think you need to set it up, get a prenup, but we've said it here. An average man is making, how much was it? $47,000, And I get it, the whole pension thing, and that absolutely sucks. I have to go back and look at the pension part. But when it comes to the 40, I don't think that's going to be the same situation. You understand what I'm saying? And even alimony runs out because there's, if I'm not mistaken, I think you get half of the year. So, for example, if she's married to him for 8 years, she only gets 4 at the most top.
On some occasions, it depends on the state that, but only few states where some people can get paid like lifetime alimony. But for the vast majority, it is a certain figure that they will use to determine, how much alimony and for how long. But I wanted to kind of say with Marcus, that I agree. Marriage is a wonderful thing, but it takes a lot of work. And I think what happens a lot of times, especially now, that people don't want to put in the work. When things get uncomfortable, they run. And even within a marriage, sometimes people stay married but still run from the marriage instead of leaning into each other when things, get rough. I think for women mostly, I have to kind of speak to the fact that I think we are delusional, and I don't believe I'm saying this, but we
Well,
are delusional when it comes to our expectations for marriage. I think we go in with a mindset of, well, two things. I think men go in with the mindset of not wanting things to change or things not changing, and women go in with the mindset of things wanting to change, right? And so we go in with this idea of, that our husband is supposed to be or going to be every single thing to us. They're going to be our best friend, our homie, the husband, the helpmate, the help me with the housework, the help me with the kids, the pay all my bills for me, the, just all of these things, my social and emotional support system. We go in with these long expectations, and then when we get in the marriage and it doesn't match up to what we had in our head, the ideal that we have in our head, then we, kind of want to leave, because it's not what we anticipated. And part of this research that I was doing, I had to take accountability in terms of me kind of thinking that same way when my husband and I first got together. And the truth is we were young. Neither one of us knew much, and, the expectations that I had were unrealistic for him. I wanted him to make me happy, but it wasn't his job to make me happy. I was supposed to do that on my own. I was already supposed to be whole and happy, and he just adds to that. So I think a lot of times we're looking in our partner to fulfill needs that unmet needs that had occurred before the partner got there. And it's unfortunate because when they don't meet those needs, because that's something that you have to do the work on your own, then we blame the other person for it. And I think that's where we go wrong. But getting to the point where you develop and you mature in that area, when you get married, it is nothing like having a partner that is down for you. It makes me smile. It gets me excited to know how my husband has my back no matter what, and vice versa. I have his back no matter whatever happens, to know that you have that support system like no other. It can't be compared to anything else. And so I think marriage is wonderful, but it is a struggle at times too. But you just have to have that mindset that no matter what, I'm in this for the long haul. And if that's both of y'all's vision,
Miss Taken, can I say something real quick? This is the third total panel I've ever been on with you. Every time you mention your husband, you light up.
Yeah.
You absolutely, positively glow, and I love it. I love it.
That's my homie.
Say that.
That's my homie lover friend.
So I have a question. So anybody else had to answer, wanted to answer to
Shout
give
out to
his
R. Kelly.
okay. R. Kelly, that's
Hold on, Tan has something. Tan has something.
Okay,
Look, we strayed so far away. I'm just smiling in the whole the benefits, the beauty of marriage, because I'm huge proponent of marriage as well. And I'll just say this, it goes back to what I was saying when I was like signing on to what this is Inez was saying about the value of marriage. It goes back to that. All those things that Marcus and Mistaken were just saying, that's what I meant when I said the value of marriage. It's not necessarily for the children. It's two people can be married and you can look at that person as your best friend, your support system, the person you can cook for the wife or for the man. You have somebody sit down and eat dinner with. You have somebody to sit down and watch shows with. If they're really your best friend, they could not even like football, but they're going to sit there and do it because you like football. And they're going to sit there and do it just to be in your company and just to be in your presence, and vice versa. A man may not like chick flicks, but they'll watch, the chick flick with their wife because they just want to be with her. They just want to be in her presence. So those are the small things, the value in marriage.